Check 1 2. Thank you, picking and a grinning. That was awesome. Do you take, Pam, now, do you take requests?
There you go.
You do?
Yeah, sure.
Cotton Eye Joe maybe later?
Maybe later.
Okay. Good morning, Unity Spokane. How are we doing?
Good.
Welcome. I got a chance to meet some new folks, showed them around a little bit, see a lot of new faces. This is awesome. People are coming out in a good way, right? It's always in a positive way. Anyways, I'm Jeff Tawney. I'll be your platform assistant this morning. Want to welcome you. We're all about our mission, which is transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world. Would take a minute for everyone to silence your cell phones or whatever. You know, if you've got I've realized one day I silenced my phone, but I didn't silence my iPad, and so it was dinging. So if you've got an iPad or something like that, remember to silence that as well. As always, we want to begin with our opening affirmation. I will say it once, and then I'll ask you to join me. There is only one power, one presence, active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. Together, there is only one presence and one power, active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. This is Unity's foundation principle. One presence, one power, one life, living through and as each one of us. This morning we'll be hearing from our transformational speaker, Karen Dunmore, and part 2 of her message titled, Beyond Seeing. Karen will also be leading us in today's meditation. We will also be blessed with Pam Benton on, I don't know what instrument she's going to play next, but this is exciting. I have to tell you, I came from years ago I came from a big church, and I say that only because they had so many instruments, but everything was so loud, you could not appreciate the musicianship and just the energy of the people, not the amps. So coming into an environment where we see week in and week out, whether it's a harpist or a celloist or a violinist, and you're actually able to get into their energy and not the amplified energy, is so refreshing. I just thank you so much. Thank you. So, without any further ado, I'm going to bring up Amber McKenzie with News You Can Use.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, there are a lot of people here today. Yeah, I know, I'm very loud. Don't even need this mic, I don't think. Okay, so there's just a few things in News You Can Use. First, as always, you can sign up and receive all the information that we share up here by scanning the QR code you see up on the screen. You can also sign up on our website at unityspokane.org. Once you scan that QR code, you can just enter your name and email, and we will send you updates every Wednesday. So please do that if you'd like to hear more about all the things we're doing here at Unity Spiritual Center. So first up, we have prints that you probably saw them as you were walking in. Alan and Diane Bassan have generously donated amazing prints, original prints that that are going as a fundraiser to support the center, and so those are by love offering. So please feel free to browse those prints after services, and Diane and Alan will help you if you decide to purchase one. So thank you, Alan and Diane. And then also we have the 2021 Advent calendar and Unity year-long calendar are now in the bookstore. And so please see me after services in the bookstore. I have them front and center. They're free, although if you wanted to leave a love offering, that's fine. We'll take it. But those are really great. Advent actually starts November 28th. Did you know that? It's a little early this year. So November 28th will be the first day of Advent. So please pick those up. Again, they're free. And we're excited to celebrate Christmas throughout the month of December. So stay tuned for more details about that. Next up, we have, Janice Mayfield. Janice, would you stand up? Or wave. There she is. Janice. Hello, Janice. She is putting together an amazing women's group Christmas performance that will be on December 19th. She is looking for some altos. Do we have any altos in the house? If so, please see Janice after services. She would love to sign you up. Their next practice, I believe, is Monday. And so you can also email her at the email on the screen, but please see her if you are interested. Okay, ownership opportunities. We've got some things going on. First up, there's always a need for some volunteers, some assistance in the youth area. If you are interested in working with our youth, please see Reverend Jackie Green, and she can assist you with that, or anyone in the youth area that you'll see up on stage at the end of services. They are really looking for continual volunteers in that area, so please let her know. Also, the YOU, Youth of Unity, they are doing a food drive, and they actually, it was supposed to end today, but they're so motivated, they want to come to like your house to pick up food directly. So Ella is going to speak to you after services about that opportunity, so stay tuned. And then we have a need for platform assistance. Kind of what Jeff Tawney is doing up here. We need them in December and beyond because, you know, we're continuing to take ownership and we need those volunteers to come and be those platform assistants, sign up. You could do it one Sunday a month, you could do it one Sunday every other month. There's lots of options. So please email me if you are interested in that. And then finally, today we do have a memorial after services. And so the family will be setting up at around 12:30. So we just ask that if you are still here, maybe just try to wrap up by 12:20 so we can clean up and then the family can come and prepare for that memorial. Okay, I believe that is everything. Oh, and I just want to show you the calendar. And then the Advent book that you can get after services. So please see me about both of those. Thank you so much. And now we're going to go into meditation.
Well, good morning, everyone. I just have to say about that playing We Are the World last week after my talk, I haven't been able to get the words and the music out of my mind, so I'm going to have a little bit of that in my meditation. So I begin my meditation with just a couple of those words. Just take a moment and breathe in these words. There comes a time when we heed a certain call, and the world must come together as one. Take another breath and hold it just for a moment. And breathe out anything that's on your mind, anything that takes you away from right here, right now. On your next in-breath, as you relax in your seat, take in what it means to you when you hear, "We are the world." We are the children. We are the world. We breathe as one. We share the loving fullness of the energy in this room. And we feel the oneness all around us. As that infinite love spills out and embraces all that is arising in unity with all. and the world must come together as one. Notice where you feel that, and the world must come together as one. Take another deep breath and fill up with the radiant light and love you are. Feel the creative, vibrant, extraordinary being that you are. And take that being into a moment of silence. When you are ready, move your feet a little bit. Take another deep breath. And come back into this space and time. Move your neck around and get that energy going through there. And once you open your eyes, see a big smile from everyone. So now Pamela's going to do another song, and I could just let her play. I don't really need to talk.
I thought since Thanksgiving was coming up, I didn't have a Thanksgiving song, but I thought I would do a piece from my first CD called Earth Dance because it has a big Indian, Native American influence in it. You'll hear the drums back there, so I thought this would be appropriate.
tough act to follow. Oh, gosh. Thank you so much. That was just wonderful. It really brings the energy up, doesn't it? I first met, I talked a little bit last week about when I first decided that I needed to find my voice, and it was with Pamela and Tamara that I met them at the Boise convention or caucus, and that was 2016. I remember because it was right before a big birthday for me, and I wanted to use my voice. So anyway, thank you for that too. My talk title is Beyond Seeing. Last week it was Seeing Beyond. So I have a Paramahansa Yogananda quote. God has given inner strength for the tree to survive the harshest winter. You are no less endowed. The winter times of life come not to destroy you, but to stimulate you to fresh enthusiasm and constructive effort. And that's Paramahansa Yogananda. So last week, we were seeing beyond, seeing with clear eyes and looking beyond what was right before us to what could be, to what is possible. Seeing beyond the physical. This quote spoke to me today because we are being called right now to stimulate fresh enthusiasm and constructive effort. We seem to be in one of those winter times of life and are called to see beyond the appearances to a place where we are all beyond seeing. So in part 2 of my talk, I did flip my title around. So we go from seeing beyond to beyond seeing, to that special place where we can vision a life beyond what the eyes can see. This is the life that only the heart can understand, where we create the life that works for everyone. We begin with a story, an old Hindu legend. And according to this legend, there was a time when all men were gods, but they so abused their divinity that Brahma, the chief god, decided to take it away from them and hide it where they would never again find it. But where? Some of the lesser gods were called in for ideas. We will bury it deep in the earth. We'll never find it there. Brahma said, no, that will not do. Man will dig deep in the earth and he will find it. What about we sink it deep into the ocean? No, man will dive into the deepest waters, search the ocean bed, and find it. Take it to the top of the highest mountain and hide it there. No, not there, for man will eventually climb every mountain. He would find it there and take it up again for himself. We do not know where to hide it, for it seems that there is no place on earth or in the sea that man will not eventually reach. Then Brahma spoke. Here is what we will do with man's divinity. We will hide it deep within man himself, for he will never think to look there. The legend continues with man climbing every mountain, digging, diving, exploring, searching for that which he already has. We do that, don't we? I know that I have, and I do. Isn't this the way of humankind, searching the world, high and low, for something that is not a thing? Searching the planet for that which has been with us all along, that which is the essential part of us, part of who we are, that in which we live and move and have our being, our divinity. This story is about what is beyond seeing, that which is a sense, a knowing. Brahma was wise enough to know the nature of man, that if something is hidden in a physical location, no length is too far to go to find it. Not so much with inner space. We always have the capability to explore what is within as deeply as we want. But how many really make the time? There is no perceived excitement, no tangible reward, nothing to hold in your hand or to count. There is always tomorrow when it comes to the journey within. And tomorrow may just be too late to do the transformative work that we came here to do. And I know we are all energized and ready to go and on the path, but we've got to tip that scale. So in this story of the tendency of humans to go to extremes in order to find that which is hidden, I am reminded of a crazy old Alfred Hitchcock movie with a wealthy elderly man and his greedy children. I don't remember if he died of natural causes, but I would suspect not, or whether he had help. But I do remember the gist of the story. He lived in a beautiful mansion with wonderful gardens, and he took care of what he had. He didn't take it for granted, though he had adult children that did. As soon as he passed, which was soon after the children arrived, and they weren't children, they were adults, they started going through the house, emptying drawers, boxes, closets to find the stash of money that they were sure he had hidden somewhere. None of them had interest in what they could see: a wonderful furnished home, antique cars, gorgeous gardens, quite an estate. But being greedy humans, they were looking only to the cash they were sure was there. They did pretty much what Brahma described. They started slashing pieces of furniture, knocking over bookshelves, cabinets, tearing out closets, breaking furniture. They dug in the garden and finally brought in a bulldozer to tear up the yard to find the buried treasure. They found nothing. After tearing the house apart, breaking the furnishings, destroying the gardens, and finally, in a fit of rage at their father, they lit his house on fire. Probably the house that was their inheritance, right? So it burned and burned. And then the old man got the last laugh. As the house burned, they started to see burnt money swirling around them. Pieces of it all over the property. They went crazy trying to grab whatever they could of the money that they had also burned. A camera close-up at the end showed the money burning on the wall inside the house, where the old man had pasted it and then wallpapered over it. I remember in my first house, every time I stripped wallpaper, I was like, well, obviously I didn't find it. But there's a great cosmic lesson in that story when you think about it. Yes, humans will search high and low for what they believe to have value. And in this case, there was monetary value. But they completely overlooked the financial abundance in which they were immersed, all that was right before their eyes. In fact, they destroyed whatever value it had in order to find the cash, which was to them infinitely more valuable than anything else. Brahma was wise in his understanding of human nature. It really hasn't changed much, has it? The real treasure, one's divinity, buried deep in humankind, is the one worthy of discovering. Jesus found that power within. He became intimate with his divinity and shared it with whomever would listen. He did not ask that we worship him, never, but to follow in his ways that we may know the fullness of our own being in oneness with our Creator. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but me, except through me. What he meant with those words was through my actions, through the map I have made for you, through the love I have felt for you. He only wanted for us to know the joy that he had found, the joy of oneness, which is what we all seek. He asked us to trust, to have faith. And what did we do? We built churches in his name, reinterpreted much of what he said, adding fear, obedience, some sin, lots of guilt, and penance for our perceived wrongdoings. We put him on a pedestal, in this case a cross, making him an idol to worship. It's exactly what he didn't want. Then we continued on with our futile search, finding everything outside ourselves to satisfy our ego, and nothing to feed the hunger in our soul. He wanted to feed us with love and the wisdom he had gained. Jesus told us that we are the light of the world, each one of us, that the works he did we would also do, and then some. Some argue with that. It sounds so grandiose, and we certainly don't want to rock the boat. We have gotten so lost, so comfortable as a society, and we need to develop that strength and faith in order to find our way back to believing in ourselves enough to be the agents of transformation we proclaim ourselves to be. So here we are at a pivotal moment in history when many of us are trying to stay grounded, while others are lost in conspiracy theories and violence. And as humankind, we have been here before. Just open the Bible and read anything in the Old Testament about kingdoms that came and went. It was a cycle. The story's all pretty much the same. That of a petulant and vengeful God, the God of the Hebrew Bible, who pretty much was interpreted by the writers of the biblical books as the scapegoat for their own bad behavior. They just blamed God for the good and for the bad. And they didn't ever have to take personal responsibility for any of their own actions. I remember the words of a young boy in a story when his mom was reading him Bible stories. I guess obviously they had gotten to the New Testament, because the little boy said, "Gee, Mom, God sure got nicer when he got older." But isn't it different? Isn't it interesting how differently we see our Creator when we take personal responsibility for what we have helped to create? Our Creator was always the same, the principle of love. We are just finally able to go beyond seeing into the old way, to see rightly with the heart into the reality of God as love. We are the hands, the feet, the voice, and co-creators in the universal scheme of things, and the idea of us was born in the great creative mind. We may have evolved in our vision of God, but has our behavior as a society really evolved that much? Aren't we still living in separation, even more so than ever, with our so-called leaders caring more about their personal gain than the people whose money is building their palaces and buying them new chariots? The decadence, arrogance, and absolute disrespect that is becoming more and more prevalent in our lifetime is also the way of each old civilization before they destroyed themselves. As each civilization began to implode, new teachers came forth in order to bring order to the chaos. This time, we are those teachers. This is our time. We have to be. Every one of us on this planet is a teacher, each bringing a gift that is needed somewhere. The character traits and behaviors in someone else, those that trigger us, mirror that part in us that is in need of healing. We are here now to open a different door and bring order to the chaos, to heal ourselves and each other, and create peace in the presence of this conflict. I remember not too long ago praying for patience. All the time, for years, so it didn't come very quickly, but I thought it should. I prayed for such a long time that it surely should have arrived. I felt that this was a worthy and helpful trait for me to develop, and I had the idea that it would be instantly bestowed upon me. When my prayer became, when am I going to get some damn patience? So I guess that you probably know what came of that. My life became even more frenetic until I realized that I was receiving exactly the means to create the patience I had asked for. Lots of opportunities to bite my tongue. So I am looking at the way things are today and seeing that we are receiving exactly what we have created, exactly what we need. The same opportunity now to open to the creativity in a way that brings life-affirming energy to the universe. This is where we need to go beyond seeing. What we can see with our eyes is physical objects. Even those we love are made up of particles of energy that manifest as a physical body. However, what we love is not their physicality. Well, it may be for some, but hopefully it goes deeper than that. But the way we feel when we are with them is what really counts. Or the smile that comes to us when we think of them. These feelings transcend time and space. They go beyond this dimension into the next. Have you ever come across a photo or a note from someone who has transcended this earthly plane and find yourself smiling or weeping at the memories you have shared? I have had many of those opportunities with the move from Coeur d'Alene to a much smaller place in Spokane. One of my lifelong friends passed in 2019. And when I say lifelong, I mean she knew me in utero. She was an acquaintance of my parents. Going through papers and photos, there are so many from Janet, from North Idaho to Pennsylvania to Austria. She came and visited me everywhere I lived. Each piece of correspondence, be it photos or letters, reminds me that Janet is, and the energy she brought, is always with me. She was a great friend, a wonderful mentor, and I miss her terribly. In another way we connect, e-connections have gotten very common especially since COVID began. That has connected us in many ways that are totally different. For me, my sister in Pennsylvania and I can now play in online bridge tournaments together in New Jersey. So we can connect every Thursday. That's a whole different reality. But it shows me that technology has a huge part in bringing us together, in bringing us closer. It may not be as satisfying, but it is a viable option for connecting in a pretty sterile way. Again, beyond seeing someone you love with real physical eyes, but seeing their reconstructive, pixels on the screen and knowing that their energy is touching your heart. This is also the only way I have to connect with my daughter and grandchildren since they moved to India last March. I love seeing those little faces, and I always think of the 40-second bursts of energy when I'd go there and arrive at the door. They would attack me, they'd be screaming and telling me how much they love me, hug me, knock me over, kiss me, and then they disappear. They'd go back to playing, just doing exactly what they did before I came. But for that 40 seconds, I was the most important person in the world. 40 seconds of bliss. Then back to whatever they were doing before. I lived for that 40 seconds, and I can't wait for the next 40. They'll be back in the States in January, and I've already bought my ticket. Even technology is conspiring with us to bring us together in whatever means possible. We are one, and there are parts of each of us that are behaving exactly as they are meant to. We are the peacemakers. We are the peace disruptors. We are the abused and the abuser, the oppressor and the oppressed. Because we are all one. All these qualities are part of the whole. I'm going to read part of something I wrote a few years ago. It's just short, because it came to me today as I was writing, and it seemed to fit in here. I am thinking about divine order and how this must be what we as a country and as individuals are meant to look at. Where in me is indecency? Where in me is violence, greed? Where bigotry? Where narcissism? Where have I racially profiled, condemned, judged? Where have I been self-righteous or arrogant? Where have I put my needs above all others? Where have I been unkind? Where have I gotten lost? Everything that shows up in one of us is a mirror of something that lives in all of us. This is where we go beyond seeing to the truth that love is the only reality. When we accept that and learn to love whatever is, we begin to heal ourselves and the planet, and the whole universe celebrates with us. God bless you all.
Thank you, Karen. I, like you, was hearing that song all week. It's a timeless, when you think about the message and you think about what it stands for, why do we move away from things that work? So thank you for bringing that back into the awareness and back into just back into our world. So, anyways, unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, and forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, for we know that there is only one power, one presence, and one life. One power, one life. So whoever you are and wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are welcomed here. If you're new, and Caleb, can you bring up the slide that has the Q code on it? Oh, they're asking you. If you're new to our ministry and you feel comfortable in raising your hand, that we'd like to say hello. So I know I met a couple when they walked in. I think they're over here. Yep, there they are. He's an alto, by the way, or a baritone. Either one, yeah. He said he also sings bass down there with us low guys. So, anyway, so if you're new, we would like to welcome you. We would also like to offer you a free gift at our barista stand, whether it be coffee, hot chocolate, or espresso, or whatever. So please let us know. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, we always talk about scanning, and I get into this mentality that we don't really recognize that some people don't even know what that means. If you actually take your camera on your phone and you zoom it into that barcode, it'll actually bring up the link to the newsletter, and you can complete the newsletter. It's pretty cool. So that's what it means when we say scan the QR code. With the newsletter, you'll get, we promise we don't spam you. You get one email from us every week. And in that email, they've gotten really good as far as giving you all the information, transformational speakers, drives that we have going on, calendar of different things. And we're getting more and more active now as we're all coming out of our holes. So it's a good thing to be a part of that. So please. Also, you can also learn about ways that you can serve. We call it ownership. It can be volunteer, but for those of you that may be new, a lot of us have taken ownership in our church here as we've been without a pastor. And so several of us have been speaking and doing transformational talks, which I think is really awesome because there's a lot of talent and a lot of knowledge here. So that's another really great thing. We would also like to invite you to connect with us on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can search Unity Spiritual Center of Spokane, and you can find us there. Now is a time for our little greeting. We're going to take a minute here. I would like to invite you all to stand up. If you feel comfortable to visit someone, say hello. I know a couple over here that are new, and if you're, yes, take a minute to. This is great. Thank you all. There'll be more of this in about 15 minutes. I know, this is awesome. For some of us, being around people is like a really great thing. Masked or unmasked, it doesn't matter. Vaccinated or unvaccinated, the energy that we all bring to one another is awesome. Now it's our time to celebrate abundance together as we share in our tithes and our love offerings. If you would like to give virtually today, please text your amount to the new donation site. You can text to give to the number 509-215-2552. Want to point out that when you do that the first time, it'll ask you to go to a website to register. That's part of the whole thing, so don't panic or anything. Just once you get you registered, get your card number so it has it on file. That's the first time, and then after that it becomes very easy. For those of you in our sanctuary, if you would like to give, we have a love offering. The ushers will come forward, and we're going around with the love offering bags, and Pam is going to also play. We'd like to do is invite you into the love offering. I'd like to do our love offering blessing. And that blessing is, I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share.
Yeah, the morning rose warm, so sail into the mistake. Hot out here, sailors cry. Smell the sea, feel the sky. As a long ride, so sail into the mistake.
Thank you, Pam. Let's pray over our offering here. Dear abundant provider, we thank you for these gifts and for those who have given them. As we send them forward in continued service to our mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Our chaplains today are Dave and Al. Al's down here in the front. He's got the little scarf on. Oh, I'm sorry. Al will be available to pray after the service, so if you have a special need, want somebody to pray with you, feel free to come to the front, and Al will be here to pray for you. He will also, well, I should say that the prayer offerings that we have, and you can also write your prayer on a note if you feel more inclined, those are not only prayed for here, but they're also submitted to Unity. And they're prayed for 30 days at Unity International. So know that your prayers are not just being here localized, but they're also going to a international effort. All right, so now is our time for our children. They're out there. Oh, they're out there. Okay. Al's got big eyes. They're out there. So we'll welcome them as our Walking in the Light song comes.
I'm walking. I am walking in the light, in the light, in the light. I am walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God. I'm walking as the light. I am walking as the light, as the light, as the light. I am walking as the light, as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
This little guy gets me every time. He is the thing that YouTube videos are made of. Look. And we're off. Oh my goodness, he is so precious. We are so grateful for our young people, also here at Unity Spiritual Center. We'd like to take a moment to bless our children, our youth, and those attending our service with a child's blessing. Together we say, be the love you are, sing the song you hear, share your joy of life with people far and near. And for ourselves, be the love we are, sing the song we hear, share our joy of life with people far and near. Now kids, before you're dismissed, we have a couple of young people who are going to come and make an announcement about who drives.
Hello, everyone. As most of you may know, Ella and I are both students at Gonzaga Prep, and we just wanted to tell you all a little bit about an annual Thanksgiving food drive that our school does. So last year, we collected over 100,000 pounds, and this food goes to 200 families plus 2 Native American tribes, and then any remaining donations also goes to Second Harvest. So we've got a lot of our community that we're supporting with this food drive, and Thanksgiving is a really important time for giving and being generous and also just being thankful for what we have. So we are inviting all of you, if you haven't given a donation and are interested in donating any non-perishable food items or toiletries, to come talk to Ella or I after the service. And anything you want to add?
I would like to say thank you to the people who have already donated, and I'm just very grateful for your contributions.
Good job, girls. All right, children and adults, you may find your way back to those that you came with. As we prepare for our final prayer for protection, I wanted to connect what Karen's message was and what we're about to pray. We're all created in the image of God. We know this. And I've always connected, like when we say this prayer, we're not just recognizing that this is God, but we're also recognizing that we're created in the image of God, and we are this as well. And as Karen said so well in her message, that we forget that. So as we sing this closing prayer, please keep in mind and personalize that. Together we affirm, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, all is well. God is and all is well. The truth. Thank you.